It's a good St. Patty's Day to your... I can't do that. Cannot do an Irish accent. Shouldn't even try. Happy Monday. Happy St. Patrick's Day, 17th day of March, 2025. I'm Dan Kuntz. I'm back. I came in Wednesday, did the show last week on Wednesday. Completely immobile. I could not move my neck. I mean, I could barely turn it 2 inches either way, and I was in a lot of pain. It's no fun to be immobile. Came in, did the show on Wednesday, went home, hoped it would get better, didn't. Thursday was just as bad as Wednesday, got a little bit better on Friday, considerably better over the weekend. I'm pretty much like 90% now, still a little stiffness, but I'm fine thanks to the folks who took care of me while I was out, and special thanks to Eric Grandstrom, who on late notice came in and did this very program on Thursday and Friday, but I am back. Milestone day today. We go over the 12-hour mark, 12 hours and 1 minute of daylight starting today. So starting today and going all the way through to late September, the days will be longer than the nights. Now the vernal equinox isn't until Thursday, real early, 2:01 in the morning on Thursday is the vernal equinox, the first day of spring. And today and tomorrow are going to look kind of spring-like, and then very active weather. Starts Tuesday night and is going to last really right through the weekend. We're in for a lot of stuff going on. Still going to see some big-time snow in the mountains. We're in for some rain. We're in for some wind. Temperature is going to be just slightly below normal, but it's going to be pretty active. Today and tomorrow look pretty nice. A little on the cool side of the morning hours. It's 34 right now, but so today and tomorrow are your days to go out and enjoy whatever it is you want to do outdoor-wise, because not going to be particularly pleasant for the rest of the weekend, the rest of the week, anyway, work week. Those details are coming up. We've got news to get to. In sports, boy, not a good weekend for the Wenatchee Wild. They are barely hanging on. A lot of scenarios have to fall their way if the Wild are going to make the Western Hockey League playoffs. We'll spill that out and everything else that happened over the weekend. We know who Gonzaga is going to play, both the men and the ladies. The Cougar ladies have some postseason. The Huskies are going to be playing in the NCAA tournament. The Lady Huskies, anyway, will have all of that. Everything else you need. We're going to have a burrito with Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. That'll be fun. And we're going to replay the interview I did with Alan Walker from the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council, wrapping up the Painted Bowls campaign. And he spent some time in our nation's capital to make sure that the lawmakers there know how important the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council is to us folks here. We'll have that conversation for you as well. A couple of slides to show for you. Normally on Monday we don't bother with the Climate Prediction Center, but this caught my eye this morning, and this slide came out yesterday, so I figured, why not? This is the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. This takes us from March 24th to the 30th, basically the last week of the month. And as you can see from a temperature standpoint, according to the Climate Prediction Center, we're leaning to above normal temperatures. It's going to be very warm in the southwest, as you can see. All of Arizona and a good chunk of New Mexico is going to be quite warm, as will Las Vegas. They're going to see temperatures above normal. We are leaning above normal temperatures. That's what it looks like for the end of the month. As far as precipitation, it's likely going to be above normal. So it looks like it's going to be, to wrap up the month of March, warmer than normal and wetter than normal. You want sunshine and dry conditions? Again, look at Arizona and New Mexico and the Texas Panhandle and the Oklahoma Panhandle. They're going to be high and dry and very warm. We're going to be warmer than normal, but not by a bunch. But it looks like we have a pretty good chance of seeing above normal precipitation this time of the year. That, of course, means rain. I mentioned it before. Sunrise 7:09, sunset 7:10. 12 hours and 1 minute of daylight today. We're past the 12-hour mark. Today will be 3 minutes and 26 seconds longer than it was on Sunday. From the National Weather Service, here we go. Sunshine today and tomorrow. It's going to be quite nice. Just about 50. Little breezy today and tonight. Not so much on Tuesday, but these temperatures just slightly below normal. Our normal high this time of the year is 53. We hit 52 on Saturday and 50 yesterday. So just slightly below normal, nothing we can't handle. And we'll do that for today and tomorrow. And then starting Wednesday, especially in the afternoon hours, here comes some active weather. The snow level Wednesday is going to be pretty low, but it's probably all going to be rain here with some snow in the upper elevations. We'll cloudy up and get to about 45 on Wednesday. Rain Wednesday night, maybe quite a bit of it, an 80% chance of rain on Wednesday night. Thursday, slight chance of rain, switches over to sunshine at a high of 51. Rain on Friday, again, perhaps a lot of it, especially Friday afternoon. There's an 80% chance of rain on Friday. That means it's going to rain. Friday night, it's going to rain. Overnight low of about 33, 34, right around there. Into the weekend we go. Saturday, sunshine, yay! Lower 50s for the afternoon high, and then here comes the rain again on Sunday with a high of 52 and lots of clouds. So looks like it's going to be pretty wet, especially Wednesday night, Friday night, and Sunday. Those are the rainy days today and tomorrow. Looking pretty good. Weather's going to be nice for the St. Patrick's Day Parade here in downtown Wenatchee at 7-ish or so tonight. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, whatever's making news, we will tell you. That's the next segment. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Central Washington Water is home to the Hot Spring Spa for over 45 years. Come see the Freshwater Smart IQ. It monitors your saltwater spa's pH balance, chlorine, and more. Or the cold plunge tub that will leave you feeling rejuvenated. Plug-and-play spas make hot tubbing easy. With great financing available, cold water, salt water, hot water, Central Washington Water has a spa for your budget and your lifestyle. Stop by today.
It's the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 13th to the 23rd. Check out the enormous selection of both new and used RVs, motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, with huge incentives, 0 down and no payments for 90 days. Top manufacturers are coming from across the country, like Winnebago, Holiday Rambler, Forest River, Thor, Flagstaff, Grand Design RV, and more. And enter to win $30,000 or a new RV. Get $3,000 over NADA for your trade, paid for or not. So come on down to the National RV Show at the Grant County Fairgrounds in Moses Lake, March 13th to the 23rd.
33 degrees in downtown Wenatchee, just a couple of high clouds. They'll be thinning out, sunshine and lots of it today and tomorrow as we pass the 12-hour mark of daylight. Active weather returns on Wednesday, and it's going to be pretty active right into the weekend. At 8 minutes after the hour, Moses Lake police say a suspect in the drive-by shooting that injured the son of a state legislature. Well, that suspect is now in custody. Monty Dent is 32 years old. He's the son of State Representative Tom Dent of Moses Lake. He was wounded in the back and in the arm at about 8 o'clock on Saturday, March 8th in the 1100 block of North Stratford Road. Now, Moses Lake Police, the Grand County Sheriff's Office, and agents with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms teamed up to arrest 27-year-old Louis Medina of Moses Lake. They believe Medina was the man who opened fire from a vehicle and wounded Dent while he sat in another car. The victim was treated at Samaritan Hospital, where his injuries were judged to be not life-threatening. A gun that was allegedly found in Medina's vehicle will be tested to learn whether it was used in the assault. In the meantime, he remains held in the Grant County Jail in Ephrata. Well, that chunk of Highway 971 near Chelan is going to remain closed for quite some time. The Washington State Department of Transportation is determining the road safety, and right now it isn't. There it is, Highway 971, South Lakeshore Road. This is pretty much near the state park. It closed back on March 3rd after 2 rock slides covered both lanes of the highway. Now, WashDOT estimates there are about 1,200 to 1,400 yards of material in the slide, and said the rocks continue to tumble throughout the week. Now, the section of the road has a history of rock slides, and WashDOT says there are still large overhanging rocks on the slope that are going to have to be removed, and they're going to have to be removed by hand. And WashDOT says a project of this size, they just don't have the money for it, as repairing the entire section to reduce the risk of rockfall will cost millions of dollars. Again, that's about 10 miles up from Chelan on the South Shore. The city of Chelan has adopted rules allowing short-term rental operations on some properties that are zoned for agriculture. The lakeside town already permits licensed STRs in areas zoned for downtown development and tourism. The new regulations passed by the Chelan City Council last week allows vacation rentals to apply and operate on agricultural properties if they are at least 5 acres in size in one of Chelan's 3 special use districts, which are largely devoted to farms. There are currently about 35 homes within the 740 acres of special use district land. The city says the change is meant to allow orchardists to keep their operations in place while supplementing their income with short-term rental fees. Earhart's Collision and Automotive Services is relocating because of Phase 1 of the Confluence Parkway project. Owners Eric and Lisa Earnhardt has to vacate the building they've leased for the last 17 years because the city is acquiring the 5,000 square feet that they use nearby for their repair terminal. Phase 1 of the massive street and bridge project will affect 7 businesses on Wenatchee's north end. We had a chance to speak with Lisa and her general manager, Jimmy Holman, to hear about what this transition has entailed for Earnhardt's.
Been in this location for 17 years, I believe now. And have had to move in the process through here from another location when it got sold and tore down to get to here. That was like 15 years ago. And here we're doing it again.
In 23, we started, was it 23? Yeah, 23, we rented another location in addition to the 7,500 square feet we have here. We rented another 5,000 square feet. We're growing rapidly. In 21, we just doubled business and had to have more square footage. And so we rented another 5,000 square foot building across the parking lot. And we were notified that about 6 months after starting the work in that location, that building was going to be torn down with the Confluence Parkway project. And so that was exactly a year ago. And they notified us that by April 1st of 2025, that building was scheduled to be torn down starting that month. So we had that much time to get basically another location, and we had to be out of there at that point. The company that they've worked with is a right-of-way company out of Olympia, and he's been fairly good to deal with. Answers from the city itself, even going to city meetings, has not really been great communication. You really don't get the same answer twice, and that's been my biggest issue, is not having the answers that we need, and not in a timely fashion either.
We've been extremely proactive through this process of trying to do what we can to find a place.
Yeah.
We did our own survey with our customers coming in, both for estimates and repairs, letting them know that this is coming, and to try and get a feel for how far they would go, whether it be the business park at the airport, or Baker Flats,
or Sunny Slope,
or how far out. And it was quite evident very quickly that this market for the collision industry is in Wenatchee.
Yeah.
So we had to make it very clear to the powers that be that we have to stay in Wenatchee.
We had never looked at it before, but the old Napa shop down at 422 South Wenatchee Avenue is tiny. It's smaller than the original building that we lease here. It's like 6,900 square feet. And the only thing that made us be able to consider it is the old pressure washing one on the corner that's now a dirt lot. They've torn that down after he retired. And we were able to get that with the old Napa buildings. We have signed the lease, and we're moving forward April 1st. We're supposed to be able to get the keys, and we won't be out of there April 1st like they want, but that's the plan.
We'll do the best we can to have it be as seamless as possible for the customer. Bottom line is, if the city wants us out of here, they have to help us get out of here, which means they have to get us permits.
Yeah, they've got to expedite that permit process pretty quickly, and we get the keys the 1st of April. The lease is all signed and ready to go, and they've just got to get the permitting process and get the federal dollars on board. That's been one thing that we've paid out of pocket for a lot of things that are to be reimbursed, and some of it's been paid 3 months ago, and we've not yet seen any reimbursement.
Several local photographers have their work featured in this month's issue of Foothills magazine. That's the monthly lifestyle publication put out by our media partner, the Wenatchee World. Landscapes, peoples, and animals are the subjects, and all the photos captured in 2024 inside the four-county area that makes up north central Washington were featured. Peter Bauer of Winthrop knitted the top animal image with his photo of a white-breasted nuthatch gathering materials for its nest among landscapes. East Wenatchee photographer Michael Spruill took second for his shot of Skyline Lake. All of these images and more, you can look at them by going to the latest issue of Foothills magazine. It's the 13th year that they've done this photo contest. You can pick it up on newsstands, or you can visit NCWFoothills.com to check it out as well. And the shortest parade in the world comes alive once again tonight as we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. The annual St. Patrick's Day Parade starts at the intersection of Mission and Orondo, travels a half block down Orondo to the Wenatchee Avenue. That's about it. If you blink, you're going to miss it. It's the 44th year for the event. It starts 7-ish at the Wenatchee City Council meeting on Thursday night. Organizers Dave Harold and Tom Irvin spelled out what you can expect.
We have made proper application at $100 for the parade permit and notified all departments of the city of Wenatchee and hope that we are in compliance.
And if possible, we'd like $100 reimbursed, please.
So we invite you all to for the fun, and this is the 44th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, which was started by our mayor, the former Jim Lynch, back in 1981, and we thank you, Mayor and City Council, for continuing this fun and important tradition.
There you go, and that's the news at 17 minutes after the hour. The news tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock will fill your head full of the information you need as we start another week together. 5, 6, and 10, the evening news on television. If you don't have cable, and that's cool, a lot of people don't, you consume all of your television via the internet, we got you covered. Our news will be posted and running on our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock, on our Facebook page right around 5 o'clock, and most importantly, on our homepage, NCWLIFE.com. And by the way, we stream 24/7, 365, so whatever's on right now, you can watch us on the internet, which is going to be big. All right, when we come back, sports, and a lot of it. It's Monday after all. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
NCWLIFE's news team is keeping an eye on North Central Washington. Join us each weekday evening at 5, 6, and 10 for the NCWLIFE Evening News, with interviews, in-depth reporting, and the kind of insights you can't find anywhere else. We're the hometown news station for the Wenatchee Valley, the Cascade Foothills, and up and down the Columbia River. Thanks for watching NCWLIFE, proud to be part of the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at MerryMaidsOfWenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed, so relax. It's done.
Caught in a conflict? Family? Workplace? Neighbor? Business? Housing disputes? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us to learn more.
Sports Sports at 20 minutes after the hour. Dylan Sandberg scored 1 minute and 47 seconds into overtime. Unfortunately, he plays for the Winnipeg Jets, who rallied from 2 goals down to beat the Kraken 3-2 last night. Seattle's in trouble. Kraken falls to 4-5-1 in their last 10 games. They are now 10 points out of the last wild card slot in the Western Conference, and things aren't looking much better for the Wenatchee Wild. The Wenatchee Wild's hope of making the WHL playoffs took a major hit over the weekend. They lost to the Prince George Cougars on the road 4-2 on Friday and 5-3 on Saturday, coupled with the Thunderbirds, Seattle, winning 2 of 3 over the weekend. The Wild find themselves 5 points behind for the 8th and final playoff spot. They have just 2 games remaining. Now the Wild close out their regular season with games at Everett on Friday. They'll host the Silvertips on Saturday. It may all be moot. Tomorrow night, Victoria takes on Kamloops. If Victoria beats Kamloops tomorrow night, Seattle will clinch the 8th and final playoff spot, and the Wild will be eliminated. So the Wild may be eliminated without even playing a game this week. All right, the big dance, the NCAA men's basketball tournament, Gonzaga. A lot of people aren't real happy with that number 8 seed, but they're in again for the 27th year in a row. They're in the big dance. They're a number 8 seed. They will take on a number 9 seed, Georgia, in Wichita at 1:35 on Thursday afternoon. For the first time since 2017, the Washington women are in the NCAA women's basketball tournament. They are in what's called the first 4. That means they got to play. Number 11 seed Washington will take on a number 11 seed Columbia out of the Ivy League. That'll be in Chapel Hill, North Carolina at 4 o'clock on Thursday. Friday in Fort Worth, Texas. That means TCU doesn't have to travel very far. Haley Van Lith and the TCU Horned Frogs begin their quest for a national championship. They'll take on the 15th seed Farley Dickinson team at 12:30 on Friday, again in Fort Worth. There are other women's tournaments, and the Gonzaga is in it. They will host Texas San Antonio in the Women's Basketball Invitation Tournament. They will host in Spokane on Thursday. We don't know the time yet, though. They're not going to announce the times of the games for the Women's Basketball Invitation Tournament until later on today. But we do know Gonzaga will host Texas San Antonio sometime on Thursday. And we don't even know who Washington State is going to play yet. Washington State women are in the Women's National Invitation Tournament, not the same as the tournament that Gonzaga is in. All we know is that they're in the tournament. We don't know who they're going to play, when they're going to play. We'll find that out later on today. Cactus League Baseball, games that don't count. Mariners beat the Reds 8-3. Nicely done, Seattle. Good pitching again. The Mariners are at the A's, so to speak, at 1:05 as we're getting closer and closer to opening day of Major League Baseball. Bring it on. Prep soccer over the weekend. Some of these were on Friday, some of these on Saturday. Pasco knocked off Eastmont 3-2 at Wildcat Stadium. East Valley shut out Moses Lake 2-0. It was Cashmere over College Place 3-0. Everett beat Ephrata 1-0, and then Tenasket beat Ephrata on Saturday 6-0. Prep baseball scoreboard from over the weekend. Wenatchee and Eastmont took on Sela in a doubleheader, and Sela got the better part of both of them. Sela knocked off the Wildcats 10-2, much closer with the Panthers 3-0 down in Sela. Ephrata snuck by Chelan by just a run. Colville shut out Omak 8-0, and Northwest Christian had a pretty good weekend. They tied Chelan 6-6. Ties okay in baseball this time of the year because it doesn't count. And then they slaughtered Omak 20-7. And Prep girls fast pitch softball from over the weekend. Again, another tie. Wenatchee and East Valley tied at 1-1. Wenatchee then went on to beat Sela 8-0. Medical Lake had a good week. They swept Quincy 16-6 and 16-11. Royal put a royal hurting on Cashmere, pardon the pun, 15-5 and 20-13. And Lake Roosevelt all over Brewster, 24-11 in Prep girls fast pitch softball. It's good to have spring sports back. Looking forward to covering a lot of that. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 24 minutes after the hour. It's supposed to be the obscure holiday. It's not. It's a good St. Patrick's Day. I can't do that. I should really stop doing that. Happy St. Patrick's Day today. I have not participated in St. Patrick's Day festivities here in the big city for quite some time. For one thing, I go to bed early and I get up early. Fun facts about St. Patrick's Day. The increase in beer sales on St. Patrick's Day compared to the rest of the year, 174% increase in beer sales today. St. Patrick's Day is third on the list of most popular drinking days. I don't know what number 1 and number 2 is. They didn't tell me. Number 1, I suppose, is New Year's Eve. I don't know what number 2 is. But St. Patrick's Day is number 1 not surprisingly, for drinking beer. How much money did we spend collectively on St. Patrick's Day? About $6 billion among those people who are partaking. That comes out to about $50 per person today is what you're going to spend on St. Patrick's Day. The number of Americans who claim Irish ancestry, 32 million. That's second only to German. In fact, that 32 million people who say they're from Ireland or have some sort of Irish ancestry is actually 7 times the population of Ireland itself. Shipments of cabbage will increase 25% this week. Beer and cabbage, that'll put a kink in your colon. The #1 state for residents who claim Irish ancestry, and this blew me away. Now, this is by per capita, of course, not by numbers. New Hampshire. 20% of the residents of New Hampshire say they have some sort of Irish ancestry, but the town with the highest percentage of Irish population per capita, and this surprised me, is Naperville, Illinois. Naperville, Illinois has the highest percentage of Irish population per capita. But you know who's second? You ready for this? Spokane. The Lilac City is second for the highest percentage of Irish population per capita. Okay, maybe you should go to Spokane. Happy St. Patty's Day to y'all, and I hope you have a very good time. I can't do those. I just should stop trying. 27 minutes after the hour today in history. The opening phase of the Revolutionary War, the siege of Boston, ends. The British Army had to get out of Boston because George Washington and Henry Knox, yeah, they named Fort Knox after him, they were able to place artillery positions overlooking the city. Basically, they surrounded Boston with cannons and mortar, and they said, well, British, you either go or we're going to blast you out until you got no choice. And okay, the British said, we're out of here. Friendly reminder that we took Boston in 1776 and we never really lost it again. During the Revolutionary War, the British took New York City and never let it go until the war was actually over. The siege of Boston comes to an end. Big early victory on the state in 1776. They take hockey very seriously in Canada. To talk about the events of St. Patrick's Day 1955, you have to go back 4 days to March 13th, 1955. This is not pretty as we show the footage of what happened in Boston between the Canadians. Maurice "Rocket" Richard gets into a fight. It was a very violent confrontation in the game between the Canadians and the Boston Bruins in Boston. There was a lot of fights, a lot of penalties. Everybody dropped their sticks, they went at it. And, well, things got really bad, and it was pretty much Maurice "Rocket" Richard's fault. Well, the president of the National Hockey League, Clarence Campbell, suspends Rocket Richard for the rest of the regular season and the playoffs. That didn't go over very well in Montreal. And on St. Patrick's Day 1955, there he is, Clarence Campbell, going to the game in Montreal between the Canadians and the Detroit Red Wings, and he probably shouldn't have showed up. He and his lovely wife are sitting, they have great seats at the Forum. And it didn't take very long for this game to get going before the fans in Montreal, who again take their hockey very seriously, started to pelt the commissioner of the National Hockey League with whatever they could find. Fans came down out of the stands. They cursed at him, they yelled at him again. Rocket Richard was the Montreal Canadiens, and finally, they just said, you got to get out of here. Somebody shot off a tear gas canister. Everybody who was sitting anywhere near Clarence Campbell got the heck out of there. And then they rioted on the streets of Montreal. This is all because a hockey player got suspended. He was suspended for a long time. In Montreal, it was considered outrageous. The rest of the NHL thought, well, he had got what he was coming. Things got so bad that the next morning, on March 18th, Rocket Richard went on the radio stations in Montreal and said, please stop vandalizing the city. By the way, this hockey riot caused an estimated $100,000 in property damage. 37 people were injured, 100 people were arrested. Yes, in Montreal especially, they take their hockey very seriously. And March 17th, 1992, 33 years ago today, a referendum open to white voters only. The referendum, do we end apartheid or not in South Africa? Yes, 69%, no, 31%. The no campaign said, hey, if we end apartheid, then the blacks are going to take over. That's not good. But the yes campaign had a significant advantage. For one thing, The government said you should vote yes. Both major parties said you should vote yes. The media, the international community, business organizations, commercial organizations said, yeah, we need to vote yes. And by the way, they voted yes, and it was all said and done. Tell me if you haven't heard this one before. Right-wing groups criticized the referendum and accused the government of fraud. They said it wasn't really a 69% vote and we should do it again. They didn't do it again. Apartheid is officially voted out by the minority. Birthdays. We got 1, 2, 3 heavenly birthdays today. Bobby Jones, of course, the legendary Bobby Jones, never turned professional. Played amateur golf his entire life. He is the only golfer to win the Grand Slam in a calendar year, which in 1930 was the United States Open, the United States Amateur, the British Open, and the British Amateur. That was the 4 majors. He won them all, and then he retired and founded the Augusta National Golf Club. Bobby Jones, who was a lawyer by trade, born in the state in 1902. I had no idea it was Nat King Cole's birthday today as I was listening to some Nat Cole over the weekend. I'm glad I did. Maybe I was getting some sort of message. The legendary Nat King Cole, very underrated as a pianist, by the way. He could play the piano. Nat King Cole, the great entertainer, born in the state in 1919. Paul Cantor, the driving force of both the Jefferson Airplane and the Jefferson Starship. Grace Slick and Marty Ballin may have been the heart and soul of the band, but it was Paul Cantor who got the group organized and made them professionals. We lost Paul Cantor a couple of years ago. He was born in the state in 1941, but the music lives on. Speaking of the music, John Sebastian of the Lovin' Spoonful, and solo endeavors as well. Not doing much nowadays. He is 81 years old today. And happy 61st to Rob Lowe. We always want to wish Rob a happy birthday because a lot of my viewers have recommended and noticed over the years that I look a lot like Rob Lowe. And I got to say, I think they're right. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Cash for clunkers, ask about it. You can get rid of your old HVAC system, the guts, the part of your system that heats your house in the winter and cools in the summertime, and switch it out with something brand new and a lot more efficient. Ask about it from Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Mike Mignotti is going to have a burrito. At least that's what I titled the opinion. And then one more look at my interview with Alan Walker of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Braden, we were talking about a nice, slow, safe investment. When I think slow, I think conservative. Let's shift from second to fourth. Give me an example of what you would say maybe a fast investment, and who's that for as opposed to a slow investment?
I feel like somebody that wants to do a fast or maybe a fastest way to grow money would be somebody that just wants to be more involved, right? That wants to be more moving parts. You're not going to have your money sitting there doing nothing. You want to learn about tax arbitrage. You want to learn about, the movement of money, the velocity of money, and how do corporations and banks, how do they utilize money? How do they make money on the spread? How do they make money on all of these different buckets when there's so many different asset classes out there, right? Mutual funds, 401k, stocks, bonds, all these different things. There's so many other ways where you can grow money in a fixed asset class, and you can pull money in and out. You can take loans against your own money, and you can leverage that tax-free into other investments. And so you can be owning and controlling 2 assets and still growing in both of them and still controlling both of them. It's kind of like, would you rather own 1 asset or 2? So it's the person that wants to really dive a lot deeper into how money functions and how it works, right? How does the system work? And that's a huge thing. People don't know how the system works. So they just let their money sit. And guess what? When you let your money sit, other people will use your money and they'll make a lot of money on your money. And that's okay if that's what you're okay with. But most of the people we work with, they want to grow their money faster and more efficiently.
Craving fresh Asian comfort food? Steam Panda is Wenatchee's popular family-friendly Asian restaurant. They focus on providing guests with delicious, healthy, fresh, and natural dishes for an affordable price. Warm up with one of their many popular house-made soup dumplings, ramen noodles, or pho dishes. And make sure to ask about their lunch and chef specials on sushi rolls. Steam Panda's Hawaiian poke bowl and salads are excellent with your favorite boba tea. Stop by or order online at Steam Panda today.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So, Rosie, my sweet wife, and I are at La Fuente for dinner. She looks at the menu and says, "Do you want to share something? The veggie burrito looks good." I go, "Share? The veggie burrito?" And actually, veggie burrito is a contradiction in terms as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. So I say politely, "No thanks." And when she asks me what I'm going to order, I say chili verde. And she says, "You always get chili verde." And she says, "You always order the same thing. You wear the same clothes. You listen to the same music. Why don't you ever want to try anything new?" And I say, "Well, we've been married for 47 years. Silence. Then she says, "The veggie burrito looks good." This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion. Oh boy, the veggie burrito. Okay.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from Les.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Welcome to the Gilded Lily home, where something extraordinary is waiting for you. The Gilded Lily offers a unique collection of hand-selected, carefully curated items to help you celebrate all of life's special moments. From the budding chef to the home decorator to that very special occasion, there is an abundance of delightful gifts waiting for you. The Gilded Lily home, where you can step in for inspiration and leave with beautiful items to brighten any area of your home.
We are back. Welcome back to the program. A big hand for Doc Severinsen and the NCWLIFE Channel Orchestra. They'll be opening for Ruth Buzzy at State Line, Nevada this weekend, if you want to check it out. Thank you very much, Doc. My guest this morning needs no introduction.
Thank you. Good to be here this morning, Dan. I'm Matt. Who am I? Who am I? Yes, Alan Walker with the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. Very glad to be on the show this morning.
Good to see you, my friend. We have a lot to talk. We had a lot of catching up to do. Last time you and I talked, we just did a little a reminder about the Empty Bowls campaign. The painting part of the campaign was in its final stage. I think he had one more painting party. Now that's all done. Now it's just a matter of burning them up and glazing them up and getting them out. So Empty Bowls. Another big year for you guys?
A huge year for us. I believe 636 people painted bowls this year.
That's got to be a record.
It is a record for us. So this is, I believe, year 12 for the Empty Bowls event. So it was a fantastic year. Sponsors really came out. Our prime sponsor, Coca-Cola, really stepped up to the plate this year and was a huge sponsor for us. And then all the people that showed up to paint the bowls. So yes, a record year for us.
Across generations, across social economic ladders, it didn't matter. The most important thing to me, anyway, and I noticed it from the gazillion photos that were floating around. A lot of kids. And that plants that seed, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So many children coming in and painting their bowl, many of them the first time, and adults too. Many for the first time that the adults did it. We had the top 10 apple blossom royalty came in as well. I believe probably 9 of the 10 ladies had never participated in the event or painted a bowl, period, painted anything ceramic. They just had a blast as well.
And some of these bowls are really cool. I mean, some of these are just incredible works of art. I would never.
You saw mine.
Yeah,
you
I saw
yours,
mine.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't put Raisin Bran in some of these bowls. They're too pretty to look at.
Some of them are incredible. One gentleman comes every year and he's painting all the presidents, and he does just an incredible portrait bust of the presidents, and his work. He'll spend hours. He'll get there first thing and he'll be the last one to leave, and he'll do 1, maybe 2 bowls. Yeah.
So does he do 2 Trump bowls because of the 2?
I think he'll do 2 Trump.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't ask him for sure on that one, but yes, might be. Yes.
Just curious.
Yeah. Well, there's other ones that had 2 terms. Just
that's true.
That's true. Yes.
Speaking of presidents, it was Lyndon Johnson's Great Society legislative program back in the mid-'60s, which was a game changer for a lot of people. It was the war on poverty, and that was basically the seed that started the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. So you guys are celebrating a milestone this year, 60th anniversary, is that correct?
That is correct. On December 20th this year, we will turn 60.
And there's a big fundraiser coming up, a very unique one, and we're going to touch on that in just a little bit. This is what we're building. This is what we call building up. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you. You know what's going on in Washington D.C. with the cuts across numerous federal agencies. The umbrella federal agency that eventually trickles down to the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council is the Department of Health and Human Services, I believe. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then there's a state agency that is
Department of Commerce. Yes.
So you know what's going on. Are you afraid to open up your inbox on your email? Is this something that is of concern of you? What's going on now? Is that eventually going to trickle down to your organization? Are you a little worried about the financial stability from the federal government to the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council?
We certainly are watching it very closely. One of the programs that started in Johnson back in 1964-65 was Head Start. So Head Start has been around for 60 years as well. The Head Start programs in the state were blocked for a period of time in late January of accessing their funds. That was eventually released, and so thousands and thousands of teachers across the country were on the brink of losing all their jobs, but that's been restored. So we are watching closely the Health and Human Services. We also received funding from the Department of Energy for our utility assistance and weatherization program, and then also another government organization called the Corporation for National Community Service, which is our AmeriCorps and Retired and Senior Volunteer program. So all of those are under the possibility of being reduced and or eliminated. Weatherization, energy assistance, and AmeriCorps programs. So we're watching those closely. We have a phenomenal lobbyist in Washington, D.C. That has been the lobbyist for community action agencies since the early 70s. He knows everybody, and he works very hard at building and maintaining relationships regardless of political affiliation.
Is it affecting morale at your offices on Lewis Street or your distribution center out there in North Wenatchee Avenue? Are the folks who work for you directly or indirectly, are they a little nervous?
We've been keeping attitudes positive, and so far we haven't seen an impact, and you mentioned the food service, so the U.S. Department of Agriculture is another source of funding for us as well. So food security is certainly on everybody's mind, and so we continue to monitor all those programs, and fortunately no cuts yet, but we don't know what's going to lie ahead, really from day to day. And we just try to keep our staff positive and let them know that we're here and we're going to continue to empower the people that we work with on a daily basis, and that's our objective and that's our mission.
It helps that our local representatives at the federal level, Congresswoman Schreier, Congressman Newhouse, our 2 senators, Murray and Cantwell, they have been a big part of the success of the local organization, your local organization. Yes. They understand the need for the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council and what you guys do.
Absolutely, and across the board. And you mentioned all four of them, and all four of them have been very strong supporters of community action agencies for a very long time.
Despite political pressure.
Yes.
From elsewhere. And you're going to go to our nation's capital a little bit later on in March, right?
That is
You and a
correct.
contingent,
Yes.
you know?
There's a few of us from Washington State Community Action folks going to Washington, D.C. There will be other community action people there from across the country representing the 1,000 community action agencies in the nation. And we'll be on the Hill in D.C. for a few days and meeting with various folks.
Like all nonprofits, or almost all nonprofits, Alan is answerable to a board, which is important, and nonprofits have to raise money to keep themselves going. And we've seen this come and go. A lot of these fundraisers, they come in cycles. Some of them have quite a bit of legs, and then they kind of peter out, and others do different. I mean, we're talking about auctions and banquets and dinners and golf tournaments and having horses defecate on the parade grounds and things like that, freaking gambling. And so there's a real challenge for any nonprofit of any size to find a new and unique way to not only draw attention to your organization, but to raise money. And you may have scored big time with what's coming up in the middle of April. This is cool. You told me about this last time I saw you on the television, but I had to keep it on the QT. Now you can go ahead and spill it. It's public knowledge now.
It's
Talk about
public
this.
knowledge, yes. So a very unique and different fundraising event, one that I think people will get behind and support. And so literally we're going to allow individuals an opportunity. I use the word jump. Folks don't really like that term, but to rappel from the top of the Residence Inn Marriott here in Wenatchee. That's the newer property down by Walla Walla Park, across from Town Toyota Center. So we're going to provide an opportunity to rappel 80 feet down the side of that building safely. We'll attach a rope to you. We won't necessarily. No. Although I've been threatened of where that rope may be attached on me. But anyway, we'll rappel down safely down the side of the building there. And so it's a pledge-a-thon, so people register. Kind of like a walk or a readathon, and you go out and you get your friends and family to support you. And if you secure at least $1,000 in pledges for a Community Action Council, you too get the opportunity to rappel down the side.
And the people who are actually doing it, I mean, hooking you up and all that stuff, this is a professional organization, Canada-based, called Over the Edge. How did this marriage come to be? Who came up with this idea? Was somebody just surfing the internet one day? This is phenomenal. This is cool.
It is really cool. And yes, and we mentioned AmeriCorps earlier. So 3 or 4 years ago, we had an AmeriCorps member who had reached out to this company, Over the Edge, unbeknownst to anybody else in the office. And last summer, there was somebody with the company that called, and I spoke with them, and they said, well, we found something in our file from several years ago that you had reached out and nothing ever occurred. Would you be interested? I said, well, tell me a little bit more. And so they shared a little bit more, and it took a while to kind of wrap our heads around the concept, of course, do our due diligence on kind of researching the company. Come to find out, they've been doing this for over 20 years across Canada and the U.S., have an impeccable track record, and doing it from buildings, as tall as 400 feet and to about what ours is, around 80 feet. So then we had to find a building and get a building owner or property manager on board with this concept.
It had to be tall enough.
It had to be tall enough.
You got to have access to the roof, stuff like that.
It had to have access to the roof. And as you know, the Wenatchee skyline is not, does not have a plethora of tall buildings, and some of those are extremely difficult to access or navigate around because of towers and everything else that have been installed. So
yeah, just about any building in the Wenatchee Valley that has any kind of vertical profile has a cell tower on top of it.
It has a cell tower or multiples. Right. So the company did the legwork for us for much of it. We were doing our own research, talked to different property owners and looked at different buildings, and the representatives of Over the Edge reached out to management at the Residence Inn, Charlotte Malo there. And
Charlotte's great.
Charlotte's great.
Yeah.
Charlotte is great. Reached out and got a hold of Charlotte, and then started working with Louise, her second in command there, and they've just been great to work with. Over the Edge has already had a crew here. We've been up on the rooftop. They've kind of done their safety profile of the building and where it would all occur and how, and then we got the green light to move forward.
Well, good for residents in, because it's so easy just to say no, or our liability insurance will go crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a perfect location, and and I've been to the residence inn a number of times until the restraining order. We won't get into that.
Yeah.
And you also have to have a facade that doesn't have like a balcony sticking out. There's a lot of logistical things that need to be taken into account.
Yes.
They check all the boxes.
They check all the boxes, and you also have to have something to tie off to, and that's the tricky part. And so we worked around that because there really was not a place to tie off on the rooftop. And so what we will be doing is we'll be bringing one of our food distribution trucks on site, and they will tie off from it.
Oh, cool.
So this is something that they've done multiple times when there isn't a way to tie off at the rooftop. Then they bring a vehicle in and tie off of the vehicle. So that's what we'll be doing.
So this is great for either thrill seekers or people who've actually rappelled down the side of a mountain or a building before, or those who have never done it and want to get that. I mean, you can. It's like any other. You don't have to all the way down. If you just want to work your way down, like Batman did, you're fine.
Yeah, absolutely. They have an incredibly skilled team that will be there, and they will also be recruiting volunteers to help out as well. Both what they classify as rope volunteers. So we'll have people volunteering at the top and at the bottom. Experience is helpful, but not required. They do training as well. But we need about 12 rope volunteers, and we're thinking if we have a mix of at least 6 or 8 that have experience or are trained, then we can blend in other folks as well. And then another 40 or 50 volunteers on the day of the event just to help with all the other logistics piece of it. So it's going to take a lot of people to pull it off. No experience is necessary. I have none. I'm registered. I'm going to do it. I've never rappelled before in my life. I've never tried to climb a rock wall or anything like that, but this looks like fun.
When you first mentioned this to me, what was it, a couple of months ago, and I thought that's a really unique idea. And it's a way to keep fundraising going, and it's something that's never been done here in the Wenatchee Valley. I thought offices, like the dental office gets together and all the girls pitch in $100.
Yes.
Because it's $1,000 to do it.
Yes.
That kind of deal. I mean, it's like
get your boss over the
like that.
building a teamwork, and that's really what we've promoted as. We've approached Wenatchee City Council, the East Wenatchee City Council, commissioners on both sides, sheriff's departments, law enforcement, fire departments, school districts. We're really trying to. It's a team building opportunity, and then there's other local businesses that have signed up teams and are recruiting staff and folks to participate and do this together.
If you go to the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council website, you're going to see all the thing. The dates and the times, the volunteers will be doing their work the day before. The actual rappelling down the side of the Residence Inn there in Walla Walla is pretty much all day on April 19th, right?
That is correct. On April 19th, and we're trying to we're going to create a fun atmosphere because you rappel down, your fame is over in a matter of a few minutes. So what other things can we do to entertain people while they're waiting, because there will be a process, of course, to get the equipment and everything. So it'll be more than just a few minutes of your time to rappel down. So we're planning music and food vendors and hopefully a beer garden and things like that to be a part of it as well.
The minimum donation to do this is $1,000. You can either write a check for $1,000 and do it yourself, or you get together with your friends and make it a fundraiser. But that's the minimum. If you want to raise more than $1,000, that's not allowed.
Oh, we'll accept it. We will accept it. And then there's the reverse side of that as well. So if a boss is doing this with his staff and says, internally to himself, I do not want to do this, he can set a threshold and say, if you raise a $5,000, I have to go. Or if you raise $5,000, I don't have to go. So you can do the reverse of it as well. So you can put it out there and create as much buzz around it as you want to, and we hope people will create a lot of it.
And it's, you said about 80 feet?
About 80 feet, yep. It's five floors, five stories. So yeah, it's just over 80 feet. We'll say 82 and a half feet. Okay. There we go. 82 and a half feet from top to bottom.
It sounds like it's a blast.
Yeah. How could it not be?
Yeah.
Yeah. And not that I'm a huge thrill seeker, but just the idea of being supported by a group of professionals, both at the top and at the bottom, that are going to be sure that I I rappel down safely, and just being able to have that experience in a safe environment.
Again, it's going to be at the Residence Inn, just off Walla Walla, 1229 Walla Walla. Everybody knows where the Residence Inn. Beautiful campus, too.
Oh my gosh, beautiful facility.
Yeah, good food, and good people,
food, and good people. People are there. Yeah, Charlotte and Louise have just been phenomenal to work with.
Yeah, and Charlotte, good for her. And she's vested in this community. She's involved in boards and organizations.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't some fly-by-night organization.
No. Charlotte's been a part of our community for a long time.
Yeah. Anything else, Alan? We have just a couple minutes left. What else is on Alan's mind regarding the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council while I have you here?
We mentioned the empty bowls. If you didn't get an opportunity to paint a bowl, but you want to see them all, you can do that on April 12th. So the Saturday before the repelling event, April 12th, we'll have the soup dinner, and everybody will come and gather their bowl, and that'll be at the Wenatchee High School from 4 to 7.
I can't believe you had over 600 painters this year. So that is that makes me feel good.
Yeah, double from last year.
Yeah. Best of luck in our nation's capital. I hope you get the message across that we love and need you guys here.
Yes, indeed.
In the big city. So. Alan Walker, the Executive Director of the Chelan Douglas Community Action Council. Don't forget, Doc Severinsen and the NCWLIFE General Orchestra is going to be opening for Toady Fields at State Line, Nevada.
Okay. I was heading down that way this evening anyway, so I'll stop in.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan Walker, it's good to see you, my friend. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, your weather forecast. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCWLIFE channel.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
This March, Lake Chelan welcomes food and wine lovers to an unforgettable experience. Taste Chelan. 16 of the Valley's top wineries and restaurants create the perfect pairing of fine wines and Epicurean delights. With 4 unique winery tracks and 5 weekends to explore, every visit offers something fresh and exciting. From your first sip to the last bite, every moment is a delicious adventure, so don't wait. Tickets are selling fast. Visit tastechelan.com today.
In 1964, 2 high school pals opened up a pizza parlor. Over 60 years later, their mission of providing a great value and family-friendly environment continues to thrive. And what's been their customers' favorite pizza since day one? The Abby's Special. This classic combo of pepperoni and salami with olives, mushrooms, beef, and sausage, and 100% real cheese tastes as good today as it did way back then. Enjoy great value and classic pizza at your neighborhood Abby's.
Couple of minutes to wrap up this show on this St. Patrick's Day. If you're just joining us, first of all, what the heck's the matter with you? The show's been on for an hour. Today is a milestone day as far as daylight is concerned. We get 12 hours and 1 minute of daylight. So from this point forward, all the way through the tail end of September, anyway, when the autumnal equinox comes our way, the days will be longer than the nights. We earn our spring and our summers around here, but we're not there yet. We still have some unsettled weather. It's March. March is a smorgasbord of weather. We can get sunny and mild days, cold and wet days. Snow is still a possibility. We've had snow in April here in the Wenatchee Valley. We're not expecting any snowfall at all for the Wenatchee Valley, but the passes are going to get some more snow. And outside of today and tomorrow, starting on Wednesday and really going into the weekend, things are going to be pretty active with a little bit of everything heading our way. So from the National Weather Service, let's jump right on it. Sunshine today, a little bit of a wind. That's about it. We'll top off at about 49 or 50 degrees. A little wind, wind out of the northwest, about 10 miles an hour. You can hardly even tell that. Partly cloudy tonight, a little on the cool side, 30 for the overnight low. Our normal overnight low is 34. We do it all over again on Tuesday. Lots of sunshine, again, just about 50 for the afternoon high, 29 for the overnight low on Tuesday night. Most of Wednesday looks pretty good until we get to the afternoon hours. Then we start talking about rain. There's a 30% chance of rain on Wednesday, most of it in the afternoon. Rain on Wednesday night, rain Thursday morning. We dry out Thursday night, rain returns Friday afternoon. It'll rain Friday afternoon, Friday night, not on Saturday, and then it's going to rain again on Sunday. We get all of it in the middle of March. And that is it for us. Have a good and safe St. Patty's Day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.